Some of you might have noticed that in the last videos there has been one dog missing from our pack. Our handsome black cane corso named Bruno passed away a few months ago, and I wanted to make this video in Bruno's memory. I also wanted to tell you about our other 5 dogs and how we ended up adopting our street dogs. My name is Leena. This is my life in Rhodes. Welcome to the channel.
Don't you cry, 'cause you know little sad eyes. Love will come, love will go. But when you're strong, you never ask why. But can you learn to love your weakest side? Little sad eyes. I see you carry all that pain. It's a sad life. If the hurt is all in vain, but you get through.
So our Bruno passed away a few months ago. This was the end of May. And he didn't really have any symptoms before. The previous evening he was playing outside with the other dogs, and then he ate his meal. And in the morning I found him passed away in his bed, in his mattress. His heart had stopped. We were obviously very surprised because Bruno was only 5 years old. We were expecting our elderlies to pass soon because, for example, would you like to come here to show yourself a little bit? Our, carefully with Oni. Our Yorkshire Terrier, he is almost 15 years old, and you can clearly see that he's an old dog. He can barely see. He can't really hear anything anymore, and you can see he has lost his hair from the top of his ears. Okay, and he has become like our little baby again. I have to lift him up on the couch or in the bed, and I put little chairs and things to help him to move around. And the other elderly is Bella, retriever mix. Bella is estimated about 12 years old. Bella is adopted from the big dog kennel in the Kinokomio, in the Rodolindu highway under Euromedica. And she came to us about 6 years ago. So she was about 6 when she came. And 1 year after came Bruno. Bruno was just a puppy, 2 months old. And Bruno was a gift from a friend of ours. And he wanted to give us a guardian dog, cane corso guardian dog. So Bella became like a surrogate mother to Bruno, and Bella raised him when he was a puppy. And I think it's because of Bella that Bruno became such a balanced and fearless, calm, really good dog. Even Bella has some fears because she's barking at thunders or when the hunters come here and they're shooting. So those loud noises, gunfire, it really scares Bella, and she's barking a lot. But it was lucky that she didn't transfer those fears to Bruno. Bruno had some serious health issues. We didn't know about if he had a heart issue, but he had food allergies and he had some environmental allergies. One vet took a test. He had skin problems. Over the years, we took him many times to the vet's office, to several vets, and he was on many antibiotics, many times on antibiotics. And I had to also learn how to inject, to put the needle, to put the medicine with the needle, to inject it because of Bruno. But I would say that Bruno was pretty sick when he was like 2 years old. But the last year he was actually doing better because I started to eliminate the foods and see what was the food allergies, and I realized that he was allergic to chicken and poultry. The key was really to find the correct diet, and after we had his diet fixed, then he got a lot of kilos and he became healthy and strong, and I believe that he built more his immune system. So the last year he was actually pretty healthy. He didn't have so much anymore those skin problems, and there was no, yeah, he was definitely stronger and better. So that's why we were really surprised. But I assume that he also had a problem with his heart. The day that Bruno died, we all stayed home. Jani, he didn't go to work, and Leonida, he didn't go to school. And we had a funeral together. I thought it was a very important day. I think it went very well for my son. I mean, he understood what was happening. I thought it was important to include him in everything. It was like Bruno was just like sleeping nicely, and we pet him and we said our goodbyes to Bruno. And after we put him in the ground, and I covered him with a cloth, and Leonida put his toys, Bones and his ball, and Leonida collected the flowers, and he wrote a poem, a letter for Bruno that he put with Bruno in the grave. And then after Leonida took some ground in his hands, and then he put it on top of Bruno. And I said that that's a good idea. I'm going to do the same. And we all did that, and we buried Bruno. And it was a really beautiful ceremony. We cried a lot together. I thought it was a very educational day for my son. I think everything went very well. He understood everything what was going on. And this is how we say our goodbyes. We shouldn't hide death. It's a very natural part of life. Okay, then I'm gonna talk a little bit about our other dogs, about our Lucky, how Lucky came to us. Lucky appeared one afternoon, this was 4 years ago, and he was around our house, somewhere a little bit further away. And I remember Bruno was really angry. Bruno was barking at the fence, this is my territory, what are you doing here, strange dog. It's pretty common here because the hunters, they have their hunting dogs free, so it's really common to see hunting dogs running free around here, or the neighbors' dogs. So I said to my husband that never mind the dog, let Bruno bark, and we're gonna see in the morning if he's still here. He will probably go home, or somebody will come looking for him. Then I remember it was 10 o'clock in the evening. I was already sleeping, and I woke up when Jani was something making noises with the dog food. And I remember I woke up and I said, "What are you doing?" And he said, "Well, I'm taking food for the dog." And I said, "No, didn't we say that we're going to do that in the morning?" He said, "Well, he's in our yard." And I said, "Why did you bring him in our yard?" And he said, "I didn't. He jumped over the wall." And I was so surprised. I woke up a little bit and I said, "Excuse me, he jumped over the wall? What did Bruno do?" "Well, he attacked him." Of course. And Yanni said, "Oh, it's okay, everything is fine. I was there, I separated them, and they're fine right now. Nobody got hurt. They're friends. Everybody is getting along, don't worry. I just put some water, he was very thirsty, and now I'm going to bring some food." Okay, so the next morning I wake up and I see that Lucky and Bruno are like friends. They don't have any problem. They are together. Everybody is fine. And that was the day Lucky decided to stay here. He chose his home, and for 2 years he was completely free. He was just jumping over the stone wall, chasing cars on the road, and then after a few years somebody complained about it, so we had to put a fence, and Lucky lost his freedom. But we named him Lucky because we thought that he was the luckiest dog. He had a good home and he had all the freedom in the countryside. Lucky was in a good condition when he came. He had a good weight on him. He wasn't skinny or anything. He didn't have any health issues or anything like that. Anyways, nobody came. Nobody came to ask for him. If somebody was looking for him, they would have found him here if somebody wanted him back, because our house became kind of famous from the dog that jumps over the wall, the flying dog. The next dog that came to us was Lady. Lady came 2 years ago about. She was maybe 3 to 4 years old then, so now she's about 5, 6. Lucky is also about 5, 6 years old. Lady came the same way, hunting dog. She's English setter. They are very common here. So she was the same around our house here in the area, just the way Lucky was. But Lady was not in a good condition. She was very skinny. She was skin and bones. So immediately when we saw her, we felt really bad for her. And we took her immediately food and water. After a few days nobody came, so we wanted to adopt Lady and give her a really good home and good care here. We felt really bad for her. Lady is really sweet. She is very sensitive. She's also really happy. She's kind of submissive, but so was Lucky. Lucky was also very submissive when he first came, but he's not anymore. Pretty fast he really boosted up his ego, his self-confidence. Almost immediately after Lady, this was almost 2 years ago, Lucy, our little Kokoni is a Greek breed, small dog, Kokoni mix, appeared under my car. I mean, she took a cover under my car, she was living there. And Lucy is definitely the most abused dog from all our dogs. She would not come close to a human, to 30 meters or so. She's got some kicks. Yeah, she was probably around 6 months old. She was still quite puppy, very young when she came. And 1 week she was living under my car. I just took some water and food, and then she made friends with Lucky. So I took Lucky and she followed him first into our yard, and then after I got Lucky inside our house and she followed Lucky inside our house. And then after I closed the door, so I got Lucy inside here. And that was the moment that she became my dog. Immediately she jumped on my lap. And from then on she has been my dog. She doesn't let anybody else to touch her except me and Leonida. She doesn't trust anybody else. First I thought that she doesn't like men, but then I took her to our lovely sweet vet, who is a woman, and she couldn't touch her either. So I realized that she has problem with people in general. For some reason she just decided to trust me and our son Leonidas. Nowadays Yanni can pet her if she's in my lap. And we have made some progress with the brushing and the grooming. She doesn't let me to cut her nails, and she's scared of the scissors if I try to cut some knots or something. But she's okay with the brush, and she lets me. She's definitely doing better. We have made a lot of progress. Lucy is a little bit bossy, especially with the other females. Usually the little ones are. The little ones are more feisty and bossy. Like our Onni, the Yorkshire Terrier, we call him King Kong. He is not afraid of anything. Only knows he can beat up a bear in a fight. This is typical Yorkshire behavior, so you kind of have to protect them from themselves so they don't get into trouble with bigger dogs. Lucy is quite clever, I would say. She's fast and she's clever. She's also really happy. She likes to do some tricks with me. I haven't really taught him many. Onni was my little circus dog. When Onni was a puppy, he knew probably 30 different tricks, and because he liked doing them, so I used to do a lot of tricks with Onni. Yeah, Onni is our only dog. We have actually bought Onni almost 15 years ago. Yeah, I paid money from Onni. He came as a puppy, and yeah, I trained him all these tricks. But now I think Lucy also would like to do tricks with me. I feel like I will have another dog, so I will have to find some time to train Lucy also. Our Bella is a very typical retriever. She's wise and calm, and she really loves to eat food. She also likes water and the rain. Our Lucky is a little bit stubborn. He's very sweet. Lucky is a very kind dog. But he's stubborn. He doesn't care to listen if I shout for him. He does what he wants to do. He's also an emotional dog. When Bruno passed away, I noticed that Lucky was the one who reacted to Bruno's passing. Not the other dogs so much. Except maybe Bella. Bella nowadays, she's mostly just sleeping in the bedroom. We have a place for her there. But I remember that she would go, after Bruno passing, she would go outside a lot, like she was looking for Bruno. So she also reacted to that. Bruno had the softest mouth, the nose area. I just love to squeeze his nose. Bruno was also really kind. He was a very, very good dog. He was so handsome. He was such a handsome dog. He was 55 kilos at the end. He was in good fit, good condition. He was calm. He was definitely the boss. Bruno was bossy. The Cane Corsos are a little bit bossy. They're a little bit dominant dogs. I would not recommend to have Cane Corso as your first dog if you don't have experience. But he was a really wonderful dog. He was our protector. I really miss him a lot. So this is all I have for today about our dogs. Next time I will talk about something else. I will see you on the next video. Until then, bye bye.